Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoyed your week, and let's do a full face of drugstore makeup because we're all baddies on a budget. Let's get this started. Going first things first, we're gonna go in with the NYX Face Glue primer. If you know, you know, this is my favorite primer just in general at the moment. Nothing to do with the price point, but obviously price point has really sold me on this product. So we're just gonna go in. Now, I like to let this dry for a couple of minutes to just kind of get sticky tacky and work better. With the foundation, we're gonna go in with the L'Oreal True Match. As you can tell, she is battered. And she's definitely one of my favorite, like, drugstore foundations. If I needed to pick one, I barely have any, but I'm gonna have to work for today. She's medium to, like, full coverage. I would say it's more medium coverage than it is full. It is buildable though, so if you want, you can always just add a little bit more coverage to it. I don't really go crazy with foundation. I like to go a bit heavier with the concealer personally, but it is very, very buildable foundation. So, and it looks very natural. This is like not a matte product at all, just to keep that in mind. And with my, ignore the how dirty the sponge is, with my very dirty sponge, and just kind of blend it out. Another thing is, this is like very glowy natural finish, so if you have like drier skin like me, this kind of just makes the skin look your skin but better. Also, the shade match, 10 out of 10. The foundation is nice and blended. The next step would be a contour. Now, this is my favorite, like, drugstore contour. It's supposed to be, I believe, a Charlotte Tilbury dupe. I think it just blends easy. I'm not the biggest fan of the sponge applicator, but it will do. But you know what? It's for the price and the product of the quality you get. The sponge, I can live with a sponge. Normally, I would be just a total hater of the sponge. If it's like something like a concealer, I tend to just take off the sponge, to be completely honest. The way I blend this out, I usually just take the brush, kind of swirl it in where I have the foundation on my hand and blend it. I find the blend a little bit more kind of just snatched when it's mixed a tiny bit with my foundation. I think I added a little too much on this product, but just blend, it's gonna be fine. Now that we're done with the blending and I look a tad bit crazy, we're gonna go into the blush. The blush I'm using today is the Beauty Corp Juice Ball. I do like Beauty Corp blushes. This is a super cute packaging, if you ask me. I don't think this is per se drugstore, but I will say this is very affordable, so don't see why not. I do apply quite a bit, to be honest, but again, you can do you. Same brush, nothing fancy, and just blend again. Right, now that I look even crazier, well, this is where I tell you, trust the process situation. Believe me, it's gonna be great. Okay, we're gonna go in with the concealer, and this is NYX Pro Fix Stick. It's a correcting concealer. It looks like this. Now, I believe this is more like a color corrector, but I do like this a lot, like a concealer. It is very thick, and it is quite high coverage. That being said, it blends super easily. So personally, probably one of my favorite, like, drugstore concealers that I've discovered this year, that just did the right job and really just snatched the face. It also, I like that it's in like a twisty cap, so you can still apply it. It's not a pot. A lot of these thicker concealers tend to come in the pot. Not a fan of the pots. Like, it requires like a brush to put it on your face to then blend it. I prefer anything that you can use out of the tube when it comes to concealers. Next step will be powder. Now we're going to be using two powders to set, so I'm going to be using Lottie London Pink Powder. 95% sure that is like affordable. It's not the rest of drugstore. And for the pressed powder, and I don't know how to show you guys this, but I'll try my best. That is my pressed powder. This is by Maybelline, and this is the Superstay. So I'm just going to set with these two. I'm going to be using the Power Puff to do so. Pink powder under the eyes, the rest of the face pressed powder. That's how it usually rolls. Honestly, this got me feeling like, remember those Avon like colored beads for powders that your moms used to have, that you used to see in your childhood, or even you had one? This is what this broken powder reminds me of, but it's a really good powder nonetheless. I cannot be asked to fix it, so we're going with the flow. Now that we're done with the powders, we're going to go in with the bronzer. This is Maybelline City Bronzer, one of my favorite bronzers of all time in general. I think this is genuinely better than most of the high-end bronzers too. So genuinely just get this one. I don't think you as a person in general need any high-end bronzers. I think Drugstore covers that department so well. Another very honorable mention is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. After bronzer, I'm gonna go in with a blush. The blush is Wet n Wild blush. Just the classic, like a bit of sparkles in it blush. This is in the color Pinch Me Pink. I have them in a couple of shades. Honestly, I believe these blushes are not more than like £4. 10 out of 10. Like, look at that. It does take a little bit of build up. It's not like you put it on your cheek and it's straight up pink. That being said, I prefer it like that because it's very hard, especially if you're like a casual makeup user or if you're like brand new to makeup. It's very easy to like over blush without realizing it. I know blush blindness right now is a thing, but if you're not into that, I think this is a great product because it requires a little bit of buildability to show up on your face, as in like clearly it shows, but it requires a couple of dabs in to look this bright. Obviously you can stop before this and make it look a little bit more natural. Now this step is very optional depending how full glam makeup looks you like. I do like quite a high contrast makeup look, just genuinely my preference, does not have to be yours, but I like to go in with the e.l.f. powder foundation and in the lightest shade, what I would assume it would be, maybe there's even lighter, I'm not sure, and just dab my like a little detail brush and just go under the eye to like brighten it even more and to kind of blend that blush a little bit better into the cheek. But this is completely optional. Like, this is not a step you need if you don't really like the high contrast makeup looks. Now let's move on to the highlighter. I am a very blinding highlighter girl, so I will go in with the NYX Butter highlighters. These are very bright, okay? So if you're maybe you don't enjoy like a glow from, you know, the space, maybe not the ideal candidate. However, if you're a bit of a full glam girly or somebody that just enjoys good highlight, that would be my just recommendation through and through. I think this is like one of the best highlighters in Drugstore at the moment. I've been using this quite a bit. Highlighters, very hard to use up and just even make a dent in them, so you don't really need many. But look at that. See, it's a little bit of a Tin Man situation going on. I like it. If you don't like it, you're not gonna like this product. Go in with the setting spray, which is a Loreal Infailble. If you know anything about me and the way I do my makeup, this is the bitch. Not healthy for your skincare, healthy for your makeup. That's all I have to say. And it smells nice. It does give off hairspray vibes. Let's move on to the eyes. Now, for the eyes, I really don't feel like doing anything crazy. I'm going to do my one eyeshadow makeup look. That being said, I'm going to go in with a ColourPop Wildcats palette. Again, maybe not the easiest get to in UK, but I feel like possible. Also, super affordable, and ColourPop has so many great products that if you are thinking of just getting something from the brand, I would say get it. I'm going to go into Hard to Get, which is like a dark chocolate brown shade. And the way I do my one eyeshadow like look is literally just pack on the eyeshadow in kind of like a shape I would like it to be. And then take a blending brush and blend it out. That's it. That's the whole makeup look. right, now that my lazy and a bit of messy eye look is done, I'm gonna go in with a mascara. Not feeling like eyelashes today. All right, let's go in with mascara. Today I'm not really feeling a lash, so I'm just gonna do the mascara. Let me go in with Rimmel London Mega Lash. I feel like that was a new release. If I was though feeling an eyelash, that would be an Ardell Whisper. And now that my eyes are done, I'm gonna wipe off my lip balm and we're gonna go in with the lip products. Lip products, again, nothing fancy, nothing bougie, but these are one of my favorite ones. So I'm kind of excited to show you guys. First things first, I'm gonna go in with a lip liner. This is by Rimmel London. This is On My Plump. I do believe that this is also this year's new release. Honestly, the cool tone like brown. This is shade Rich Cacao. It's just so beautiful. It actually like stunned me, and this like very quickly became my favorite. Genuinely, look at this gorgeous shade. I just normally I would put on a gloss on top of this and just go and rock up like that, but I feel like a very, very honorable mention, and this is the lipstick I'm gonna wear today. Maybelline Vinil lipsticks in the shade 35 Cheeky. That's how this looks like. I feel like we all know they went viral a couple of years ago. Here's the thing, never go over them. I think they're one of the best like hydrating, long-lasting liquid lip in the drugstore, or just in general in existence, to be honest. Love the product. Looks so pretty as well, like genuinely. Minus towards the end. I used that 2 of those when they came out. Honestly, this was like, I was dipping in one of these every day. Moved on to different products. That being said, still a very, very loved product of mine. Have it in several shades. Very good for every day. Alright, and this is the finished look. This is a full face of drugstore makeup. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week.